Hey guys, so I got fired from the farm. Fortunately, it was nothing that I did, but it's just kind of a rough time of the year, and the payroll was a little higher than what they were wanting it to be. So, since I'm the only employee that's not full time there, I was the first one to go. Um, I'll still work with them in the future, and they'll still be good friends to me. They've done a lot for me, so I'll be there for them if they ever need help. Uh, It is a little sad because I was actually wanting to go full time there but I understand how it is. Running a business is hard, and they're really just about a year or two in, so it's just hard times right now. So no big deal, no hard feelings, obviously. I talked to O'Reilly's and they're gonna give me full time there, so that's gonna help some, and I'll definitely be it'll definitely be a little hard for a little while, but they we'll have to see what the checks look like coming from O'Reilly's and see how I can adjust. Uh, anyway, that being said, I caught a couple days off uh, due to my unemployment, so I can finally get some stuff done, which is kind of a blessing. I stayed up real late last night working on the car with one of my buddies, and I got at it this morning working on the bike. Um, I'd like to get the bike finished. Could finish it today. I'd also like to get started on the car. I think I'm just going to keep working on the bike and get it done. Um, I've got a video coming for that, for the whole thing. I'm going to put it up before the bike's completely finished, but it's because I don't want to put any money into the bike. I just bought the motorcycle as a gas saver. My vehicles, the Camaro gets about 17 miles a gallon, the truck gets about 10.3, and the bike gets about 49. So obviously I like to ride motorcycles, but the biggest reason that I got it was genuinely to save gas. I could easily go through $100 worth of gas out here in a week in my truck, so um, yeah. But I don't really like shiny stuff, so I modified the bike a little bit to fit more my style. I'm sure it will anger a couple of people. Anyway, speaking of angering people, today is the day that one of America's biggest lies started. And I probably am going to upset a couple people by saying this, and I hope that we can just agree to disagree. 50 years ago, the shuttle left for the moon for the first time. And I'm about as patriotic as they come. I love this country. I love everybody who fights for this country. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else in the world, and I know that we're so blessed to be a part of this. But I think that we've been lied to, and I think it's pretty obvious now, 50 years later, that we were kind of scammed. A couple of quick facts about this, and then I'll let it go so that I don't ruffle too many feathers. We still have the chair that Abraham Lincoln was sitting in when he was shot. We still have a coconut that JFK carved while he was stranded on an island. We've got teeth, fake teeth from George Washington that have horse hair, and just those things are obviously important to our country, but none of which are more important than the first man to land on the moon. But we don't have any of the footage from landing on the moon. NASA deleted it. They wiped the magnetic strips and re-filmed over the tapes because they said they were short of money. The greatest accomplishment of mankind was erased for the cost of a VHS tape. It's kind of crazy. We've still never been back to the moon, and we don't go to the moon. We have to fly out of Russia because we don't actually have a shuttle that could even launch us to the International Space Station, which is only 230 miles away. The moon's 238,000 miles away, but we don't even have the capabilities to get ourselves and our astronauts 230 miles in the air. Russia can get us there, but docking to the International Space Station is a little tough, and SpaceX, which is a company out of California, a privately owned company, was actually the first person to have a shuttle that was able to dock itself to the International Space Station manually, or automatically instead of manually. That just happened the other day, or maybe a couple months ago, but to pretend that 50 years ago we had more technology than what we do today would be awful silly. Orion is the new space capsule that we're working on in the U.S. It's got the highest rated metal ever made. It's got enough computing skills to send 4 million code transmissions to the computer per second. 4 million transmissions per second. Still can't go to the moon. Whenever it enters back into our atmosphere, it loses communication with Earth because the metal underneath the Orion heats up to a range where it's literally liquefies and turns to just molten metal. It's never happened, guys. It's never happened. But one of the most frustrating things for me in living here is that I have no cell phone service. And sometimes it's a blessing. But when you just need to make a quick phone call and you can't, it's really hard. Sometimes I have to drive miles down the street just to get into cell phone range. There's a little spot I can stand in my driveway and get a bar or two, but if I have to make an important phone call, I can't risk it dropping out the call, you know? So I'll just get in the truck and drive a couple miles towards town until I get into cell phone range, and I'll park my truck and just sit there and make an important phone call if I have to. "50 years ago, 4 days from now, 50 years ago, Richard Nixon called the moon from the White House. His phone tracks my steps, can give me any information. I can talk to it, and it'll tell me the information. I don't even have to type it in. It knows my location at all times. It's honestly miraculous, the things that these cell phones can do nowadays. But they can't get a cell phone call to go through if you live in the country. But if I was 238,900 miles away 50 years ago, I guess a phone call will work just fine. I know this sounds kind of crazy, and people are probably going to get upset with me because people don't like to be lied to, and when you realize that you got tricked, you kind of have to come to terms with yourself sometimes. that you were able to be tricked. And some of you guys that were around when this happened, it's got to be kind of gut-wrenching to remember seeing it and being so proud of our country and everything. And like I said, I'm as patriotic as they come. You know? I'm not trying to spit at America or anything, but man, I hope my finger wasn't in that half the time. Problem is that we were lied to. I think about this often, and I think that the most sad part is that one day man will achieve that great accomplishment. And unless it's obvious that we weren't there, which I believe it will be by that point, they won't actually get the credit for it like they deserve. I need a job. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm gonna put out a couple videos this week since I'm not working, so expect more to come at you. I hope I didn't offend anybody. We really didn't go to the moon, but I'm willing to hear your point of view if you want to tell me why you think we did. It's crazy. But this week you'll probably hear a bunch of moon talk, so I wanted to say that because I've already started getting the propaganda thrown at me. Alright guys. Oh, where's the puppy at? Here he is. Hey. Come here. Oh, you want me to scratch your butt? You want to scratch your butt? Ooh. 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 Oh, you're tough. Oh, I know you're tough. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. Sorry I spit on myself. I'm gonna go upload this video and you can get back to work on the motorcycle. Come on, boy.